Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another weekly Poker Showdown brought to you by Party Poker. I am your host, Jamie Staples. This week, we have an exciting show talking to ALLinPAV, a member of Party Poker Team Online, a legend on Twitch, plays the highest stakes tournaments that you can find, a bunch of 500s. Usually every day is in for like 10,000 in buy-ins, even just on normal days. So amazing to watch his journey. It was great to pick his brain and talk a little bit about how he's got to where he's got to from playing small stakes just a couple years ago. So that's the plan. But before we get into that, let's get into some of the online and live poker news from the week. Before we even get into the online poker, we should mention what's going on in the world right now. To be honest, I feel a little bit weird making a podcast about online news and live poker news without addressing the fact that, you know, there's a pandemic going on around the world, right? This is all something that we love to do. I love playing poker. It's my profession. I really care about it, but I don't want to minimize what's happening. So I guess just on a personal note, my thoughts are out there with everyone that's struggling with coronavirus and COVID-19. I know some of the world is quarantined and locked down in their house right now, and I'm hoping that if you play poker for fun on the side, it can be a bit of solace in a time that's not particularly fun for a lot of the world. So we touched on it last week. Obviously, things continue to develop, and it's a very stressful time. So a personal note to all of you, if anyone needs any help, they're feeling that stress, you can always get in touch with me at Jamie Staples on Twitter. I'm here to listen if you're struggling through it all. Anxiety is something that I deal with as well, and I know this is just an anxious time. So I'm with all of you. We're going to get through this as a species. We're going to survive this thing. And for the rest of the podcast, let's just get on with the poker. First of all, we got PowerFest going on this week. We have 15 days of PowerFest, and Rob Young put out a tweet saying should be extended. So there's potential there, because I think 85% of people said extend it, so we'll see. Party Poker's team Jao Samao came second place in the PowerFest 2 high, 100,000 guaranteed 8 max. Samao reached the final table of the PowerFest 9 high roller as well, which is the PLO 6 max PKO on day 2, finishing in 5th place. Samao's combined prize was $18,994 and $11,550 from bounties. The festival is running as of now until the 29th of March. World Series of Poker has launched an online Super Circuit series in response to the coronavirus, COVID-19. So there's an 18-ring event series that's going to be open to players in New Jersey, Nevada, and Delaware, which is really exciting for people in those states. Stops at Harrah's, Atlantic City, Bally's, Las Vegas, Kings Resort, Bicycle Hotel and Casino, Harrah's Cherokee, and Casino Barriere La Crosse, pardon my French, have all either been suspended, postponed, or canceled. The new online series for this is going to be Saturday, the 14th of March, run to the end of the month. The Irish Open is going online. I'm so excited because I'm going to get to play my first Irish Open. Now, I understand this is a little bit different. It is online, right? It's not going to have the amazing community atmosphere that I've heard about this Irish Open, but nonetheless, I'm excited to participate and sort of take part in such a historic poker event. So the festival is now running from Monday the 6th to Sunday the 12th of April. It's a revised schedule running across 7 days. Main event will be a multi-day tournament. I think it's 1,100 euro, I believe. And culminating in the Irish Open 2020 winner being crowned on Easter Sunday. Party Poker Managing Director Tom Waters said, "We're delighted to be associated with Europe's oldest poker festival. The Irish Open is a truly unique event, and following the disappointment of its cancellation this year, online Irish Open Festival looks a perfect fit for both organizers and Party Poker." I think this is a win-win. You know, people that love this event and want to play have an opportunity to do so online, all from isolation in their homes. And this is great for Party Poker in that some of the live poker players get to experience Party Poker for the first time playing the event. So I'm very excited to play. I will be streaming it, and I look forward to it. Live poker news. Some of the last live poker news we'll have for a while here, I think. Phil Ivey has secured his first tournament win in 2 years. He won the $50,000 short deck event at the Party Poker Millions Super High Roller Series in Sochi. Ivey took home $856,000, coming out on top against 54 players who created a prize pool of $2.7 million, which was shared amongst the top 8 finishers. Ivey's last outright tournament win came in the 2018 Triton Poker Super High Roller Series in Montenegro. Ivy finished second in the $51,000 short deck, winning $525K. Timothy Adams won the Party Poker Live Millions Sochi Super High Roller Bowl main event. He won $3.6 million in the event, where 40 players enter. That adds to the $1.45 million Adams won in the Super High Roller Bowl Australia in February. So Timothy Adams absolutely smashing it this year. Total lifetime earning now up to $20 million. Paul Foy won the event number 6, the 100K No Limit Hold'em at the Super High Roller. He went in the final day as the shortest stack of the 9 remaining players. Beat Matthias Ibinger heads up to win the title for $1.5 million. So incredible comeback for there. Like 9th to 1st. That's special. I feel like that needs to be an achievement. You need to knock that one off. Came into the final table last and won the event. That's a nice one. Congratulations to Paul Foy. Some of the Party Poker news this week as well. Oopsman and ICM Master claimed the micro cash game leaderboard titles. Oopsman won $200 for the top prize in the Party Poker cash game leaderboard. Belarusian prefers low stakes poker, been playing for a few years after receiving a $50 promotional amount. And Ukraine's ICM Master finished top in the 2 cent, 5 cent PLO leaderboard, winning $500. So those leaderboards continue. Check them out. That's good stuff. Congratulations, guys. The WPT and Party Poker are launching the WPT Online Series in May. This inaugural WPT Online Series will be from Sunday the 10th to Tuesday the 2nd of May. This is going to be amazing. I can't wait to play WPT Online. Oh, it's going to be awesome. This is another one. The Irish Open and the WPT, I'm just like so hyped for the next couple months. Combined guarantees total more than $30 million. This includes a $5 million guaranteed to first ever WPT Online Championship. Full satellite program around the clock for these events, and players can win a $5,000 WPT passport online at Party Poker. This can be used for WPT Online Series, WPT UK, WPT Montreal, and WPT Russia. So in the same way that the Party Poker Million has like the steps, same thing. So that's great. That's all for the news from around the felt. Now let's get into the interview with ALLinPAV. This guy has been on such an amazing journey. You're going to hear about it in the conversation that we have. I remember seeing him, and he was playing cash games, streaming them to, like 70 people 3 or 4 years ago, and just playing the small stakes, right? And how we've seen him transition from that to where he is now, playing in like all the 500s that he can find, playing in all the 320s that he can find, and like really going through these massive swings and sharing the process on Twitch. It's an incredible journey, and something that I think there's something to learn from for everyone there. Even if you're one of the highest high rollers, like his process has been really amazing. And if you're a small stakes player, I think it's an inspiring journey. So without further ado, interview with ALLinPAV. Joining me on the podcast this week, I have fellow Party Poker Team Online member, ALLinPAV Hristivoje. Is that officially your name?
You said it good. It is my name officially, but people go by Alan, Pav, or Pave.
Okay.
And I actually want to cover this because a lot of people don't get it. I've even received quite a few DMs on Twitter where people refer to me as Alan when they want to like try and plug something.
Right.
I ended up hosting some Russian streamer, I can't remember, a long time ago, and they read ALLinPAV as ALLinPAV. Like that's how it came out.
Right.
And one of my viewers picked up on it and just kept calling me ALLinPAV, and I was like, "What? I don't understand this. Like, what is this what is this word? Like, I didn't know that it was. I thought it was like a brand or something, so I didn't get it." And then someone explained it to me. I was like, "Wow, that is the funniest thing ever." So
right,
yeah, just stuck with Alan.
Yeah, man. I fell into the trap because someone called me out as like, actually, Jamie, it's ALLinPAV. And I was like, what do you mean? So I mean, we've known each other for a long time, but I was really questioning everything. I thought it was ALLinPAV my whole life. And I thought Hristivoje was like the sweet, like hometown name that you rolled with. So this is, thank you for the context on the story to start off the show here, Pav. I appreciate it.
The actual pronunciation of my full name is Hristivoje Pavlovic, which is like it's Serbian. But growing up, kids at school tried to say it like Hristivoje, which then turned into Hristivoje, which then turned into Chris, and then Pav because my last name is Pavlovic.
Right.
And yes, Pav has been like my primary name really throughout my life.
Okay, right. Did you grow up in in Australia, where I know you from, or did
Yeah,
you grow up in Serbia? In Australia.
South
Okay.
South Australia. My parents grew up in Serbia. They both left at around 4 and 5 years old, I think. So yeah, their parents came to Australia when they were really young, and yeah, they didn't speak any English. Their parents, it is, and I'm pretty sure both my grandparents um, ended up learning English through their son and daughter.
Right. Okay. Wow. Have you ever been back to your family's homeland, if you will, Serbia?
Yeah, I went to Serbia when I was, I think, like 9, and also when I was 15. It's okay there, It's a very strong community. People hang out. There's no like really indoors things. Everyone's always out hanging out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like a very family vibe. But I don't know. It's not really for me.
Right.
I'm pretty simple. Just a nice modern home, internet, and I'm good to go.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Um, so I have lots of poker things I want to talk about, but I think given the trying times that we're going through here, it'd be a little bit weird to not talk a little bit about what's going on in the world, COVID-19. I know you went to visit your family in Australia last week, and I also know you had a stream house planned
Yeah.
with our team and stuff that got canceled this week. So like, how are you doing, and what do you think about like this whole thing that's happening right now?
Well, this whole virus thing, I don't really know too much about it apart from let's just really take on this whole social distancing thing and stay inside and self isolate. Yeah, I already booked my tickets like 2 months ago to Australia, and then I was figuring out if they're letting me in, I'm gonna go in. If there's no like high risk, I'm gonna go in and spend time with the family because I hadn't seen them in months. And I was leaving back to New Zealand on Sunday morning, and Sunday midnight they were going to implement the self isolation thing, and I believe they were closing off borders for maybe it was like only ships coming in. I'm not sure if it was also non NZ citizens coming in or out, but I know they were closing something. So I was like, luckily I was coming in 12 hours prior to that closing, and yeah, I even saw on Twitter that they ended up deporting someone that they found in a hostel because they were not self isolated. So that was pretty
Right.
insane. But yeah, with the stream house as well, that's disappointing because that was a lot of fun. Obviously, we had the first stream house last year. No, sorry, 2018. It was in May or April with me, Henry, who's Bolero, and Travis, Dramatic Degen, and Patrick, Egyptian. And yeah, we had it planned for Vancouver, Canada, for 2 months starting April 4. And obviously, COVID hit, and we have now cancelled that.
Yeah, it'd be really hard to move during this thing. Like finding
Yeah.
accommodation, buying things, like just be a
Yeah.
disaster. Yeah.
I mean, there's a part of me that's somewhat relieved because like I don't have to go through the taking apart my PC, putting it together, making sure it doesn't break along the travel and buying a desk and monitors and all the cords. And it seems like a nightmare as well. But I mean, even the WSOP, that's still kind of up in the air right now. It seems pretty unlikely to happen, but there hasn't been a final call on that just yet.
Hmm.
But I also have an Airbnb booked with my tickets, my plane tickets. So yeah, a lot of calling to do, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it'll be really interesting for our industries. Like it's almost insensitive to talk about like how this is gonna be good for online poker or good for Twitch, but I mean, I think being matter of fact, it will be interesting for us, and I expect to see some new people that are exploring online communities and exploring poker. So um, I've been thinking about plans like how I can include those new people. What do you think about like new people coming around poker during this time? Like, do you have any ideas about how we can?
I have no clue what amount of people. I really hope someone's tracking this, like
Yeah.
the average audience on Twitch Poker for the next 3 months. I really hope people look at this closely because, I'm really looking. I'm trying to see, like, have I noticed anything different online yet? Like, I'm not quite sure. I feel like maybe it's just a mental thing. People believe they're seeing more crazy shit, but it's just like the
Mm,
norm. I'm not quite sure. Like, the live scene really targets the older people. There's not a very young scene on the live scene, so yeah, the demographic is a lot older, and I'm just not sure that they really care about Twitch, honestly. But we'll see. I could be
yeah.
wrong. There's definitely like I don't know. There's quite a few between 25 and 35-year-olds out there who I guess could be keen on Twitch, but I don't know. I feel like if you don't know it yet, yeah, I just think people play live because they prefer live. They don't really care about live online. Sorry,
Yeah, no,
I don't see
I
it. I
agree,
don't see it
man.
booming too hard. I really don't.
I agree. I think there's a lot of live players that just like couldn't care less about Twitch, couldn't care less about online poker. Like what I'm trying to figure out is what do we need to do as online poker players to convince them to try it, to like have an enjoyable time actually playing. You know,
I mean, there's a lot of
like how do we get
I
that
mean,
community aspect online, right? Like that like your friends, you hang out with your friends, you play, the player pool you're playing against. That's like what's missing, it feels like, you know.
yeah, I mean, to be fair, like in terms of like forming an online community, Twitch is amazing for that.
Mm,
I don't see there being any other way to convince live players to try online if it wasn't for Twitch. Like, I think that's huge because a lot of live players love the social aspect. Um, they love the soft aspect as well, but maybe that's stopping them from playing online. You need to be, the main difference with online and live is online you play millions more hands, right? So the more hands you play, the smarter you get, and the tougher the pools become. So it's no surprise that live players are just accustomed to this kind of slow, straightforward kind of player types because that's all they're up against. You don't have these
mm-hmm.
guys who are playing 2,000 hands a day and trying new things and running sims or watching training videos. You don't really see that in the live scene. So I just think you have this pretty, I don't want to use the word ignorant, but this mindset where live players just say, you know what? No, like I hear about bots online, blah, blah, blah. It's too tough. They're running solvers on the side, blah, blah, blah. Like I see a lot of excuse making when it
Yeah,
comes to live players.
right. I understand. I'm with you on that. Let's get into some of the online poker because your journey's been pretty amazing. When I first came to know you, you were streaming to not that many people and playing not that high stakes. You're pretty small. And now on a regular basis, your buy-ins are pretty regularly the biggest. Like maybe the newcomer at Big Bluff Zinc, who's on our team on Sunday, he'll fire a bit more. But other than that, I think you play the highest stakes and the most volume across the board. So you're smashing it. I saw just the other day, buy-ins 12,000, cash is 18,000, something like that.
Yeah.
So just take me through the journey of small stakes, small stream to where you are now over the last several years.
Yeah. First of all, I want to say, I think one of the best things with Twitch for anyone who wants to start up a stream is you get to document the entire process. And like that is, I don't think you truly appreciate it until you have the evidence there, 2, 3, 4 years later. Because at the start, I didn't think about it at all. And 5 years later, I'm so glad I have all those videos, those pictures, those hands, because you can see the progression you made from being terrible to mediocre to thinking you're good to being crap to being really good and, always looking for improvement. So I think Twitch was great in that aspect, having the evidence there. As for the actual transition, it's a slow grind. I mean, I always say this on my stream that poker is not a get rich quick scheme. It's like a disgusting slow grind, and you're just not going to make a bunch of money unless you put the volume in and work hard and look to learn new concepts and improve something minor at least every day. But yeah, I started with. I mean, the first when I discovered Twitch was actually funny. I was following Nanonoko on. I liked his Facebook page, and
Mm-hmm.
he posted, going live on Twitch. And I was like, "What the hell is this?" Opened it up, and he was hosting you, I believe. So you were the first streamer I saw, and I was like, "What is going on here?" And I remember one of the first things I wrote in your chat. I was like telling you how to use a hotkey to like tile tables or something, and you were like, "Yeah, man, I know how to do that." Thank you. Anyone was like, "Wow, this guy's so nice." Blah blah. And yeah, then you ended up hosting. You hosted Kevin one day as well. Then I like loved watching Kevin as well. So like you and Kevin were the streams I like pretty much only watch. And I also love watching Travis, Dramatic DJ, and a bunch at the start. So you three, but like Kevin was my favorite. I remember I would honestly watch his stream while I streamed. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
So
He
yeah,
is
I
he is the
remember that.
people's champ, dude. His stream has got to be the crowd favorite over the years. Like he doesn't have the following of like Alex Veldhouse or Jason Somerville, but But Kevin Martin, dude, he is a cult classic. Like people can cite specific streams from his history of streaming. So
Yeah.
I'm with you on that, man. I hear you.
Yeah, Kevin gave me my first host as well, I remember. And because we both FT'd some like $9, some $8.80 tournament. And yeah, he chucked me the host, and I remember freaking out, like telling my friends later that week, like, yeah, I got hosted with this many people, blah blah blah. And I don't know, good times starting out. I started out with cash games as well. I was playing a lot of 25 and now, and I was pretty unhappy playing cash games because cash games are tough, man, as well, right? And it's also very tough to keep it entertaining for the stream because there's no like beginning, middle, and end, right? It's just a lot of like free betting ranges don't really change pre-flop. You're always 100 deep,
Yeah.
and yeah, there's no end goal really. It's just like let's try and lift our win rate here. No one really cares about that. But if you have someone who just FTs some micro stakes tournament, 1,000-player field, hundreds of people want to tune in and watch that. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna try tournaments.
That is the problem, and no one has really solved the cash game thing yet, except for bankroll challenges. They seem to do okay, but other than
Do they
that,
though?
they do okay,
Do
man.
they?
They do okay. Not great.
I don't know. I remember Doug put this beautifully. Like he said, this is the reason why people quit their bankroll challenges. Like they might go from playing medium stakes, high stakes to saying, let's do a bankroll challenge. Let's start with $100. Let's play micro stakes here. Play 2 cent, 5 cent, 1 cent, 2 cent, whatever it might be. And then people tune in and they say, oh, this guy's betting 7 cents, he's betting 14 cents. It gets boring, and it gets boring quickly.
Yeah.
And they think it's a cool idea at the start, but like less people start showing up for a reason. I think the main people who love that stuff are the people who are in the same position. They want to start building their micro bankroll to like the low stakes and medium stakes, the high stakes. They want to see how it's done. But
The
yeah,
strategy
I think
aspect,
they want to see the strat aspect because they're super keen on it. They want to become a professional. I mean, a lot of people do. But I think the best way to become a professional is just invest in yourself. Like I would honestly say, if you're looking to truly become the best player you can be, I would never watch Twitch in terms of learning something. I would always watch it only for entertainment, and that's what I personally do. I watch it only for entertainment because at the end of the day, every streamer out there, it's not our job to teach you new concepts. Our job is to keep you entertained. And there's a reason why Twitch is so addictive. It's fun. And at the end of the day, studying isn't fun.
Right.
So yeah, if you really want to get better, I would invest in yourself. Sign up with a training site. The Upswing Lab, for example, that's where I started. Then I started watching the advanced courses. And here I am. It was just a lot of video watching, a lot of talking hands with friends who are on the same skill level as me, being lucky enough to find people who are slightly better than me, teaching me things as well. And just really being honest with yourself, like what could I have done better today? Like, I think a common thing we see on Twitch is a lot of streamers like to bullshit the things they're saying just to kind of win the approval of their audience. I think there is absolutely no shame in sitting there and saying, I have no clue what I'm doing here. I don't know. Chat, if you have any ideas, let me know. And with those ideas, please give me a reason as to why you think I should play it this way.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think there's nothing wrong with it. You just need a bit of humility and honesty, and I think you'll be surprised with like the audience you win over. So yeah, I'm always preaching like how I suck at the game because it's not even close to being solved. It's a very tough game.
Yes, I totally understand. I think there's a lot in there. I think something that I really struggled with in the beginning is like when you have a voice to an audience, and obviously when you're doing things in poker, you're doing them because you think they're the best, but you acknowledge that you don't know. So like, you don't know for sure, but like, this is what I think is best for now, right? Based on X, Y, and Z. So like communicating that in a way is a little bit weird because you're doing the right thing based on the knowledge that you have. There's very little gap, at least in my mind, between execution and knowledge in poker. It's like if you screw up a lot in a spot, it's because you don't have the knowledge you need to execute it correctly. Which translates weirdly on Twitch because I think sometimes streamers can come across as arrogant, as like, well, I'm going to do this because of this, and that's the right play. And even if they win the hand, it's like, well, and people, get at you and you get in an argument about it. It's just like, well, I think this, and this, so I did the right thing. you know, and it could be
Yeah.
wrong. Like if you throw it into a solver, like it could be completely wrong, but you have only your knowledge, and that's all you have to execute with until you study.
I mean, what I learned over the years is you can't please everyone.
No,
No matter what you
no,
do, no matter how great a stream is, no matter how well you believe you conveyed information, someone's going to be annoyed and someone's
yes,
going to say something. And it's such an easy spiral effect. One person says one thing, and then someone might be trying to defend you, which then starts something else. And it's just, you're never going to please everyone. So yeah, I think as a streamer as well, you've got to kind of master the art of not caring and doing your best
hmm
just to kind of stay focused, ignoring those comments. And at the start, they used to always get to me. Like, oh, I'd always think about them, and like you could get 100 positive comments and one negative one, and that one would stick out. You'd be like, like you'd use that as motivation as well to like get better. Um, but yeah,
yeah,
that would be one of the main things as a streamer. That's excellent about streaming, right? Is you get to you master the art of not caring, and I think that's essential in life as well, not just streaming.
hmm yeah. I agree. I do want to. I want to get your thoughts on one thing, which you said. I think it's better to study on other platforms, but I don't know if you remember when you first started playing, like learning new concepts. Like when you first heard the term range and you're like, what's range?
Yeah.
Like what does that mean? And then you learn about it and you start thinking about it and it's so exciting, right? Because it's this new big thing and you're starting to figure it out. I I really am of the opinion that Twitch and YouTube or even like Instagram or wherever, are great places to learn the concepts you don't know yet. Like if you're at that level, you don't know the terminology, you don't know the way the players are thinking. You probably don't want to hop in and get upswing like you said, or get raise your edge, or anything like that. Like you kind of need to know what you don't know yet. Like just dip your feet in and feel it
Yeah.
out. And I think Twitch is good for that level of player, to like actually get started on their learning journey, even though it's
You,
not the
you make
end.
a good point. You make a good point. I actually remember the first time I heard the word range. It was my friend Chris the Borg on Twitch. Some people know him.
Yeah.
He actually like mentioned that word, and I was like, oh, it's all the cards I have in that position. Okay, and then that was like I remember that very distinctly. Funny enough, you mentioned that. Um, but yeah, like I didn't start with a training site until 3 months into streaming. So
hmm
maybe you're right. Maybe the Twitch grind got me into like maybe it pushed me to go to training sites because there's nothing appealing about a training site when no one really understands any concept of strategy, right?
hmm
They need to see something, and someone streaming something like, let's just say 20 big blinds, final table. You see about a quarter pot on deuce four versus big blind. Someone says, I'm going to see about range on this board. And you sit there thinking, what does he mean see about range? He's on the final table. I want to listen to this guy.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then maybe that kicks you into like, all right, let me go with the training site now.
Yeah.
So yeah, it probably is a better place. It's probably the best place, most convincing place to encourage you to go with the training site, both Twitch and YouTube, when they see highlights. That is a good point.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, you bring up a good point. It's the training market. Like they're all over Twitch. they're all over it.
They are. It's
Yeah.
all razor edge and
Yeah.
that's all it is.
Yeah. It's true. So it started to hail here, so I'm sorry if you hear anything on the side.
No, okay.
Um, if you had to look back on your journey and someone wanted to make the same sort of approach that you did, go from playing the small stakes to high stakes, what are the biggest mistakes that you made along the way that held you back?
Um, I think improving yourself as a player, it's all about honesty for one. And at the start, I wasn't being honest with myself. I would make things up on stream just to get away with certain things. Maybe I wanted to be a little bit tighter in a spot, but I would have no reason. I was too shy to admit my reason for it because I don't want to be called a nit or whatever it might be, a fish. So, yeah, what was the question again? I kind of lost my train of thought.
No, just the mistakes that you made along your path.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah.
so just trying my best to win Twitch chat's approval would be this is from a streamer perspective. But for anyone just looking to get better, I think it's all about honesty, talking to friends, and trying to move up in terms of like, all right, who's better than me? Who's willing to talk to me? What can I offer to them that they're willing to offer to me? I even remember Patrick Leonard saying on the pod before, and it's so true. If you ask for an opinion on a hand from whoever it might be, and they reply back saying, oh yeah, you played it good, like GG, and they can't offer like any insight to how you possibly could have played it different at a higher EV, just to not bother wasting your time with that person, because you don't want a yes man in poker. Like I've had a lot of friends in the past who just don't really want to offer much input, don't want to try and prove to me why a hand could have been played in a different way, because they're just not looking to hurt your feelings. I think poker's poker, and if you have an opinion, like share it. You don't need to. If you have an opinion, share it. Like it's not about hurting feelings. It's just a game. It's nothing personal. So yeah, finding the right people to be honest with you, and also finding players who are better than you, which is not easy. You have to go searching online as well. You can. It's actually a lot easier today than it was 4 or 5 years ago, because now we have discords across Twitch. Like
Yeah.
a Raise Reg have a great Discord. There's like a DTO Discord out there as well. There's just general communities, like my own Discord. I have a poker strategy section where I might want to post screenshots of a sim that I ran, and we can talk there. People can post hands of themselves, and I can give my opinion. So yeah, just sharing a lot of hands and being honest with yourself is like the number one key thing in my opinion. And
Right.
not trying to like overcomplicate things as well, right? Don't play too many tables at the start. Just play like 4 tables max, and if you want to add them. Like I'm always in the camp of play the amount of tables you feel comfortable playing. Don't force anything at the start, because
Mm-hmm.
the start, it's all about the learning process. You can't learn when you're just kind of like overflowing yourself with these ideas and playing 12 tables. I
It's
did that
so
a lot. I was
exciting.
like, I was 12 tabling 25-0 in the first like couple months of streaming, which is
Right.
so dumb. I don't think I learned a single thing. I
Right.
was just like maybe like slightly break even, or like winning at half a big blind.
Yeah. It's so exciting though, Pav. It's so exciting. It's such a hard temptation to resist when you start to get a bankroll and you just want to fire 12 tables. But I agree
Yeah,
with you. I agree with you. It's yeah. I think we've all fallen into the Sunday session where you pre-register all your tournaments and like you're
then you
15
get that
deep and you're like, "Oh
disgusting
god."
feeling,
Yeah.
like, oh, let me just keep registering 7 hours. I bricked everything else. I got 3 tables, 15-minute blinds. I have to win all 3 tournaments to make money. It's not fun.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Um do you see yourself, let's talk live poker a little bit. You went to Las Vegas last summer. Obviously things are up in the air this year. Um, but how do you feel about live poker as compared to online? And do you see yourself playing live in the future?
In the future, maybe. For what it's worth, I love and hate playing live. If we're talking specifically about Vegas, I love that because I was there with my buddies, and there was parties, and we had a great group together at the Airbnb. And it's so awesome going there as well. Like as a streamer, right? Like I had like over 100 people come up to me, introduce themselves, say they like the stream. Can I get a picture? Like, what's up, Pav? Like I love that so much. As for like the slow, it is truly an exhausting grind playing live poker.
Mm,
Like driving up there, going to these new tournaments, driving back when you bust. Like it is truly filthy, and it really is taxing on the body. But yeah, I really do enjoy the live grind as well. I don't really see myself playing it too much in the future though. Like if once I'm done with Twitch, like the live scene in Australia is not that big as well. And yeah, unless I travel back to Vegas every year, that's like the only form of live I can see myself playing.
no super high rollers like 25Ks around the world like
I've never
Triton.
cared about them. I've
No.
never cared about them. Yeah, like I mean, I'm not sure like what the audience is for these live super high rollers. I know a lot of people kind of think that's the end goal. Like a lot of people come on my Twitch channel like, Pav, like you want to play the 25Ks one day, blah blah blah. But in reality, like a lot of these players playing these 25Ks, these 100Ks, like they don't have all of themselves in the tournament. So like it kind of loses the prestige a little bit when you have like 5 or 10% of yourself in a tournament. And
Definitely.
that for me is just a little bit, I don't know. I can't get behind it. It's a little bit boring. It's like I'm not looking to just play with 5 to 10% of myself in a tournament against a bunch of crushers, and win a 40-man tournament. It's
Hmm.
not really, yeah. For me, when I look back at my poker career, I want to say to myself, all right, I put in a shit ton of volume online. I streamed a bunch. I stayed true to myself, etc.
Yeah, I hear you. It seems like a lot of that high roller scene is, I can play the 100K and sell it at 5% markup, and sell 90%. So I am going to lock in, 4,500 for a day's work.
Mm-hmm.
and then have the 10K equity, you know, and I don't know. That seems like what it's like for a lot of the poker pros is like they work with a backer, they lock in their profit with markup, and they spend a ton of time like studying and just playing a few tournaments. It's different. It's super different. Whoa, you're gone, Pav. You're back.
Yeah, it's my screens went black.
Okay. um, and I want to finish today as well on Twitch. So like your channel's grown from small to quite a big channel now. You have a huge amount of watch time on your channel compared to the rest of the listing. So what's important with Twitch? Like how did you do that? And what's your advice to anyone out there looking to stream, especially in these times where we're all social distancing at home?
My advice for putting in volume.
It doesn't have to be volume, just to have a successful Twitch channel for whatever that may mean to different people.
Yeah. I would say you have to love it to do it. You can't do it for the money because there really isn't that much money in Twitch poker to begin with. Unless you get some kind of a sponsorship, you're not making much money apart from the profits from poker. Yeah, so I think from Twitch alone, I'm maybe making like 10 to 18,000 a year, like not much, right? So the money just it's all about building my brand and getting affiliate deals and sponsorships and just enjoying myself. Like I do it because I love it. I do it because I want to challenge myself. I'm not doing it for the money. Right. So yeah, that's the main thing. If you don't genuinely enjoy it, you're just not going to succeed. Simple as that. Like you're not even going to come close.
Yeah, don't get in. I agree with you. Don't get into it for the money because I think there is a decent amount of money if you become a big channel. You know, if you have those affiliate deals and those sponsorships and stuff, like it is an avenue into it. But the time to get to that point and the amount of work to get to that point is like you better enjoy it or else your life's just gonna suck.
Oh, dude, yeah. Like, I mean, I was streaming to like less than 100 viewers for 2 years straight or something. So like when I think back on that now, like god damn. I mean, it's exciting at the start, that's for sure. I probably enjoyed myself the most at the start. But you know that feeling only lasts so long. You got to look for new things to keep you motivated and for me right now it's just I want to destroy everyone. Like in terms of volume, I'm so competitive. Like I really just want to put in the most volume, both on Twitch and poker, make the most money, and when we're all said and done, we can say, "Wow, fuck, Pav put in a disgusting amount of volume," and that's what I want to be known for, just like the hard work ethic.
Right. I think that's a great approach. I like it. The journey's amazing to watch, Pav. I've really loved it. I'm happy to have you on our team and not on another team, man, because you are a beast out there. So I'm happy to have you, and it's been a pleasure talking to you today. So thank you so much.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Plug some of your stuff. Where can people sweat you? Not just on Twitch, but around the internet, man.
On YouTube as well at ALLinPAV. Shouldn't be too hard to find. And ALLinPAV on Instagram as well, where I post, I don't know, funny hands and whatnot.
Cold coffee.
I mean, I'm mainly on Instagram for my. I'm mainly on there for just like stories, you know, like my social life, what I'm doing. People, I don't know. I don't use it too much on poker nowadays. It's more so just updates on my story every day, and yeah, I'm very transparent with everything. I don't know. I like it that way.
What's the story with the cold coffee? Because I feel like every story, there's the pouring of the ice cold coffee. Is it a must?
Like
yeah, well,
I hate hot coffee, right? But I love iced coffee. But I didn't know how to make iced coffee, so I spent like a couple of weeks learning how to make it, buying a French press, a grinder, and coffee beans. Like I was using just grinded coffee as well, and yeah, ended up learning how to make iced coffee with the correct recipe, and now I'm in love with it. Like it truly wakes me up. Coffee's amazing.
I've never tried a nice coffee. I'm literally too afraid because
it will change you, dude.
It's so associated with a warm, steamy coffee. I struggle.
Bro, trust me. You can have iced coffee in the cold, in the hot. It's amazing. It doesn't discriminate. Not to mention, put a bit of sugar in there as well. It's amazing. It's almost like having a milkshake in the morning. And I don't know, it's nice. I like that cold buzz in the morning.
That's extreme, Pav. But perhaps this is your success.
Yeah, I mean, you can have it straight too. You don't need milk. You can just have it straight. Be raw.
Yeah. I'm with you on that one. I like the black coffee.
Give it a shot, mate.
All right, Pav, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Everyone out there, make sure you go check him out on Twitch and on YouTube. Chances are he'll be live when you pop in. We finally got this interview in New Zealand hours. It's a rough one, but thank you for staying up for me today. And yeah, we'll follow up again in the future. Hope things continue going well. Cheers, Pav.
Cheers, mate.
Big thanks to ALLinPAV for coming on the show. What a story. What a guy. Looking forward to following up with him in a bit here. See how he's getting on. So before I let you go, we have the JS Poker Hero competition where I give one of you a $215 Party Poker Million ticket so that you can hopefully represent the podcast strong and go on and win that event. That's the plan. Now, this week we had David Grant playing the tournament for us. Unfortunately, David Grant busted the first hand facing a raise with Jack-Jack. The flop was Jack-9-8. And he busted on hand 1. Queen-10 raised under the gun. Called a 3-bet. Ugh. David, I'm so sorry it went like that. Thanks for trying your best. You flopped top set. I don't blame you in the slightest. But GG. GG, my friend. Thank you for playing. Hopefully next time. So this week's competition, we're going to guess my finish position. The closest guess is going to win a $215 Party Poker Million ticket. And the Power Fest I'm going to choose, I just opened the lobby here. I'm going to choose Power Fest number 50 high, okay? And this is a $109 rebuy. I haven't played a rebuy in like years. Just a conventional rebuy? Okay. I'm just used to re-entries at this point. A rebuy, I'm down. So a $109 rebuy. This starts at 5 p.m. UK. I might late register this a little bit. It depends what I'm doing on the day. But guess my finish position in that event. I expect it to be a large event. And closest to is going to win a $215 Party Poker Million ticket where you can represent the podcast strong, do your best to win the tournament, and usually around that $150K first prize. So that's it for this week. Thank you all so much. Stay safe out there. Stay healthy. I'm thinking about all of you right now. Once again, you can always get at me at Jamie Staples on Twitter. And, of course, on Twitch. I'll be streaming a bunch this week. That's going to be it from me. Until next week, we'll see you later.